guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new IDontWorkHereLady content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled Golf Club Pro Shuts Down a Rude Older Lady Demanding Me to Help Her with Her Golf Clubs. So a couple of years ago I had a summer job at a pretty nice golf course. I split my time between helping members out with their bags, cleaning clubs, storing them, and working behind the register in the pro shop. There was always this one really rude older lady who was always condescending when she talked to me, and instead of asking me to do things, she ordered me to do them, and while they aren't mandatory, she never tipped either. I always put up with it because it wasn't my place to get involved. Fast forward to this week, it's opening day, and I now have a better job and as a result, a membership at the same club. As I'm loading my own bag onto my cart to go out and play my first round of the year, lo and behold, this lady steps out of her SUV and starts waddling toward me. I immediately knew she was about to ask me to get her clubs, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a bit excited about the opportunity to finally fire back. "Hey you. Get my clubs on a cart. I'm going to play 9. I told her very calmly that I no longer worked at the club. She basically replied with, "I don't care. You will load my clubs onto the cart or I'll speak with the pro." I told her to go right ahead and she marched into the pro shop. A few minutes later, her and the pro walk out and he notices it's me and tells her that I don't work at the club anymore. At this point she is fuming. Well then, who is going to load my clubs onto the cart? The pro walked over and helped her out with her clubs, and as she was walking past, she mumbled something at me under her breath and gave me a nasty look. Then the pro made it all worth it when he stopped her and said, "Listen, I understand the confusion and I know you have been a member here for a long time, but Appa's also a member here and you cannot treat other members like that. If anyone else has been in such a situation, you would know how good it feels to hear something like that." Long story short, she didn't say another word. The next story is titled Got Stopped by a Customer While I Was Wearing a Dress and 4-inch Heels. For context, yes, I do work there. But I was off that day and went to my job to grab a couple things. I work in a grocery store. I was stopped while I was picking out eggs by a woman who said, "Can you check in the back for more water?" I froze and said, "I don't work here, lady. Sorry," and turned back to picking my eggs. To which she says, "You do work here. I've seen you here before." Let me tell you the absolute frustration in my voice when I said this, "Lady. Ask someone who's not in a ducking dress and heels and looks like they're working." All I remember was hearing her say she wanted to speak to a manager. She even name-dropped one of them. But, yeesh. I don't want to go in the back of a dusty store when I am off. I barely want to go in when I have to go in. Edit. Maybe I should clarify, since I am seeing these couple comments a lot. I do not have to do anything when I am not scheduled unless I was called in to work by a store manager or district manager. If I went in the back to look for and grab a case of water, I would be fired immediately. My whole outfit plus heels was an extreme safety hazard. No, I was not fired, nor would I have been fired for not helping someone when I was not working. The next story is titled You're Not Visually Impaired, Right? Today, I went into Asda for a few things, milk, bread and such like, when I heard the harumphing of an approaching Karen. I decide not to look round in case she has targeted someone else, but no such luck, as a sharp jab in the shoulder tells me otherwise. "Why aren't you paying attention? I've been asking you to help me for 5 minutes. Bullcrap, she's just arrived." I turn to her and give the best, for duck's sake, face I can muster, and reply with the old IDWHL. I then give a couple of other faces, as I see a manager approaching, and realize that the opportunity to do something mean has all but effectively disappeared. Instead, I point to the manager and tell her to speak to him. The manager looks at me and asks, "Is she bothering you too?" That tells me that somebody else, maybe even several other people, has complained about her. I nod. Before the Karen can open her mouth, the manager asks her if she can see what I'm wearing, and how my gray shorts and blue t-shirt don't match the black trousers and green polo shirt that the staff wear, to which she replies, "Of course I can." The manager then asks, "So you are definitely not visually impaired?" "Blind," says the Karen. "Of course I'm not blind. I can see what he's wearing, but I want him fired for not helping me, and, why did you ask if I'm blind, anyway?" "Well, I reckon that if you can't tell that he is a customer and clearly not a member of staff, says the manager, gesturing at me. You are either blind, stupid or mad. And you're not blind. The Karen just went beetroot red, and stormed off. Best manager I've met in ages. The next story is titled A Karen Trespassed on Our Family Property, Got Booted Out. This just happened about an hour ago. I was just cooking some chicken for lunch on my George Foreman grill when my mother came knocking on my front door. She told me my aunt just caught a woman trespassing on her property. When confronted, the woman held out her phone and claimed she was using her GPS to come and see the waterfall. We have no waterfalls in our area and she was not on any road for a GPS to work on. So BS was called on that. This woman walked down a driveway that was over a quarter-mile long, past my parents' house, my grandparents' house, and then went down to my aunt and uncle's house. What's more, we have no trespassing signs everywhere. But she blatantly ignored them. We then caught the woman as she was walking back up the driveway. My mother tore into her and called her out. And my stepfather had his double-barreled shotgun and told her not to come back. But this Karen nonchalantly brushed us off and tried to play ignorant the whole time. Then my aunt came driving up and we practically had her surrounded in every direction but the road. So she walked up the road and turned onto a nearby street. My roommate and I both recognized her as a woman we saw walking along the road recently. We live out in the hills in Oregon country. You don't usually see people walking along our street as the nearest sidewalk is like 8 miles away. So most people out here drive. We're all of the theory this woman may have been scouting out our property because we've had thieves and drug addicts in the area do that before. And a few years ago some trespassers vandalized our property. There is even a literal marijuana farm next door. So right now we're on guard in case she or anyone trespasses looking for anything to steal later. Edit. I would like to point out that it was not my idea at all for my stepfather to brandish a shotgun at the lady. But he never actually pointed it at her and just held it the entire time. The rest of us were completely unarmed and only wanted to tell her off before she left. But my stepfather came out with his double-barreled shotgun and then did all that. I don't really care for meaninglessly brandishing of a firearm. However, we have patrolled with them in the past when looting was going on in our area. Also, I seem to have worded the thing about the GPS wrongly. However, there are no waterfalls for like 15 miles in any direction of where I live. So there's no way that's what she was looking for. We believe she was possibly taking pictures or recording a video of the area. Small update. My sister has been asking around and the lady who trespassed on our property has been spotted around the neighborhood and has some people keeping a close eye on her. But thus far no one knows who she is or where she lives. The next story is titled Lady, Students Don't Have to Follow the Student Dress Code. Backstory. I'm a high school senior at a magnet technical school. Meaning, it's filled with smart kids who don't want to try. I got a position as an intern at the school's IT department for over the summer, and for the last hour and a half of each school day, that counted as technical credits, needed 6 of them to graduate. Gotta love work-based learning. Also, 3 years ago, almost all of our administrators got fired for embezzlement. This will be important. This happened on Thursday, and I thought this would fit here. Story time. I was doing my job installing new printer cartridges and color printers in classrooms in the 400s hall, commonly known as the science hallway, and was having a chat with my chemistry teacher from last year who happened to have a planning period and wanted to know about the events I was looking into for this year's Science Olympiad. My team's won county for the last 4 years running, very proud. It's important to note that I am not dressed like teachers are supposed to be. The teacher dress code meant no sweats, no tank tops, no jeans except on Fridays, basically just dress generally put together. My boss in the IT office was wear clothes, and shoes that weren't open-toed. The clothes part could probably have been negotiated. Love my boss. This particular Thursday I was wearing joggers and a flannel over a tank top. The only thing I had going for me in the category of looking like a teacher was my ID badge, a student ID in the school-issued plastic sleeve on a retractable lanyard, the same that are issued to teachers that I only got because the box of them lives in one of the full-time IT guy's desk drawer, and he gave all 4 interns them when we first started in June, and my badge, while it had an NFC in it to let me in and out of the school, the IT office, server rooms, etc., is obviously different from teacher IDs, even on a first glance. I also had a radio clipped onto my pants waistband. Note: the only people who have radio are admins, department heads, and maintenance people. Not teachers. While I was talking to my old chem teacher, an older-looking lady walked past us. She didn't say anything at the time, but clearly was giving us the side eye. I didn't think much of her, since she was obviously a sub. My school has only a little over 1,000 students, so not that big, and while I don't know all the substitutes, you tend to catch on to the regulars. And she didn't say anything when she walked past. I didn't think anything of it, finished my conversation, and start to head back to the office. I get a call over the radio from another intern, asking me to pick up a spare monitor from one of the storage rooms, casually known as IDFC, not my idea, because my direct boss had stabbed another monitor with a knife. Long story. Probably will post the story to our Tales from Tech Support one of these days. But I literally just made a Reddit account, but the door to IDFC was clearly labeled authorized personnel only and needed a valid keycard, not physical keys, in order to get in. My ID has clearance for this door. Regular teachers' ID cards won't let you in. I'm about to let myself in, texting the other intern to get her to send me a picture of the stabbed monitor so I know what type one need to pick up. Then suddenly, here comes the substitute teacher around the corner. Spotting me with my phone in one hand and ID in the other, she comes storming over to me. From here on out ME will be me. As will be annoying substitute. CB will be my chill boss. FA will be my favorite administrator, and if will be my intern friend. As what do you think you are doing? Me what? As that door clearly says that teachers aren't allowed. Why would you think that you could go into a off-limits room, when you look like that? Me, visibly confused look. I don't know what your problem is. I'm just doing my job. Is there something I can help you with? As you can start by not dressing like a gang member. What sort of influence are you being to impressionable children? You should be fired. Me, I don't understand. I'm just trying to work. Nothing I'm wearing is against dress code? I'm assuming she might have seen a slip of gasp. Shouter if my flannel had slipped a little. As I will report you to the principal. What do you think you are doing, wearing sweatpants? What sort of teacher are you? Me, finally understanding, oh, wait. I'm not a teacher, I'm an intern. We don't have a dress code other than the school dress code. As don't lie to me, you're just trying to not get fired. Give me that walkie-talkie, I need to call the principal. Me, nope, I don't need this. Please let me do my job. Teachers aren't allowed to use the radio unless it's an emergency. As give me that. As grabs the radio out of my hand, and hits the call button. The radio is pre-tuned to channel 3, the IT channel. Admins are on channel 11. As screeching into my radio, I need the principal outside room 4XX. There's a teacher trying to break into a room. Over the radio, my boss responds, confused. CB what? AB, what's going on? I manage to wrestle back the radio and call for my boss. Me, CB, can you come down to IDFC? I need a hand, really soon please. At this point, As throws my radio across the hallway and, because the intern radios are always the crappiest ones available, the battery pops out. So I have no way of knowing if help is coming, and As is still screaming in my face. Unfortunately, I am 3 feet down from the door that only I will be able to get into, and As is still forcing me farther away, screeching at me. It seems hopeless, until here comes FA turning the corner, attracted by the yelling. A note about FA. After an embezzlement scandal mid-year that led to only like 2 admins still standing, a science teacher that just so happened to have another degree that qualified him for the admin job. This man was a fabulous teacher, and while I never had him, if did, and I knew him well by association with if even before I got the job. Working during the summer, he was one of the admins that was there pretty consistently, and since he's always been pretty friendly to me. So FA turns the corner, like an avenging angel, and sees me, obviously trying to do my job, and this is losing her mind in front of me. He immediately comes over and tries to see what is wrong, and BC she's an actual employee, he goes to the As first. FA, what is going on here? As this teacher is acting inappropriately in front of impressionable students. She's trying to break into and steal things from the off-limits rooms. FAAB. What are you trying to do? MEO, thank God Mr. FA. I am just trying to get a monitor for CB out of IDFC. FAIDFC? Did. Literal highest level IT guy in the district who works in the same office as carbon monoboride. If and me, come up with that. Never mind. As, aren't you supposed to be in a class right now? Oppa's just doing her job, she's an intern it's not like she is skipping class or anything. As suddenly gets calm and collected to try to explain to FA that I was a disgrace of a teacher, which I am not, and I was a bad influence, debatable, and I should be fired. I would like to go home all the time and was totally down for this. CB, and if only just now round the corner onto the scene, just in time to watch me get down on my hands and knees to put the radio back together, while Liz tries to defend herself to FA. If makes sure I am okay, and then gets the monitor to actually finish the ticket we were working on. CB helps me fix my radio and starts defending me to the as. I was a little shaken up and don't remember that much about the following conversation, but the gist of it was Liz was upset that I was exempt from the dress code rules for teachers and employees, and that I had access to rooms that she didn't have. But then a security guard comes around the corner. Apparently Liz had left her class O freshman to go to the bathroom, and when a student had an emergency dismissal and the classroom was called, they realized she had left unattended students. Hella not allowed. The security guard had gone down to the classroom to investigate, found it teacherless, and had checked the security cameras. The result is ended up getting fired. The FA apologized to me on her behalf to me. My CB gave me some Jolly Ranchers, and let me chill for the rest of the workday. BCI was pretty shaken up, and then let me stab the broken monitor. I haven't seen that sub since, and I am glad. The next story is entitled Mother Screams at Me Because I Won't Give Her Free Groceries. I was at the supermarket and my purse collided with a precariously stacked tower of apples, sending them scattering. I picked them up and went on my way. M equals entitled Mother. EC equals entitled Child. I was just finishing up in produce when M cornered me. For context, I'm a senior woman and I was in a dress and pushing a cart of groceries. M. Hey you. Me. Yes? M. Where's the free fruit? Me. No clue, sorry. M. Sarcastically. Well, would you go find it please? Me. I don't work here. M. I just saw you stacking a display. I don't care if this isn't your department, my kid is hungry. Where is the free fruit? Me. Oh, sorry I don't work here. Anyone in a green or black apron can probably help you. M. No, I don't have time to wander around, you help me. Me. Slowly, I do. Not. Work. Here. Good luck. EC. You're stupid. You don't even know where the fruit is. If I had more presence of mind I would have said well neither do you, but this kid was like 7 and I had to be an adult. Me. Look, I can't help you. Turns to leave. M. What's your name? I'm reporting you to the manager. EC. Yeah. M. Shut the duck up EC. Very classy. Cursing at your 7-year-old. I just walked away at this point. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to check out and I see M and EC in the next line over. EC is eating an apple and the cashier I guess has asked to scan it because M was yelling about how it was supposed to be free. Loud enough that other employees and a security officer had started to come over. Cashier. I'm sorry if there was some kind of miscommunication, but we don't have a free fruit program. Then she says one of the store employees told her it was free and was very rude to her. I don't love confrontation so I'm trying to avoid her line of sight. No luck. M. Right there. That one. She told me it was free and she wouldn't help me. Me. Looking around pretending like I'm trying to see who she's talking about. M. Do not ignore me, I am a customer. Me. Excuse me, are you talking to me? I don't work here, sorry. M. She's lying. I saw her working here. Cashier. Mom, she doesn't work here. You're going to have to pay for the apple or I'm afraid I'll have the escalate the matter. She kept yelling and I didn't buy much so I just paid and got out of there ASAP. I hope she was banned. Crazy lady. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.